My name's Lance daSilva. I'm a realtor at Century 21 Sheets here in Bloomington, which, by the way, is the best real estate firm in Bloomington. And I'm also a local real estate investor. And I can proudly say that I've been a Hoosier since 2010 when I moved here with my wife, Liz. And we've got two small children, Levi and Lena, and we're really invested in this community. And yeah, we're here for the long haul. There's lots of choices to choose from in terms of realtors in this town. A lot of people don't know this. I think that there's almost just shy of 500 realtors, if I'm not mistaken, in Bloomington. So you've got your fair share of options. As far as what differentiates me, you know, I'm not your showboating, fast talking type of guy. What you see is what you get. But with that, one of the things that I really strive to do with my clients is take something like a real estate transaction, which can be super complicated at times, and really break it down and talk to my clients at their level, educate them through the process, make them feel good every step of the way. The one thing that I learned, and the biggest takeaway for me when I was a school counselor, is that we're all human beings. We all come with our own baggage. We all come with our own emotions and feelings and how we deal with things. And that's all okay. And so I think I acquired a deeper appreciation for general coming from all walks of life and what makes someone an individual. And as a middle school and high school counselor, and I feel like I also do this in general, really praising and bringing out the individual traits that people have and make them feel proud about the characteristics that they have as a human being. My interest in real estate actually dates way back to my younger years as a teenager when I used to work summers for my dad's building and construction company. We built homes from the ground up. We did framing, drywalling, decks, painting, roofs, and everything in between. And my dad also, he dabbled in real estate investing himself. I wouldn't say he built his career on it, but he did do a handful of house flips when I was growing up. And so I was exposed to it. And also want to talk a little bit about my grandfather, Leonard Heller. May his memory be a blessing. He was a realtor and an entrepreneur throughout his entire life. And so, I've always had that in the back of my mind. In terms of my own interest in real estate, I would say I made a conscious decision in 2016. I was actually working as a high school counselor, and I decided I was going to get into real estate in some form or fashion. I didn't know what it was actually going to look like. And I actually started listening to the Bigger Pockets real estate podcast, 18. And I started reading a bunch of books on real estate investing. Didn't do anything with real estate, just was learning about it while I was working as a school counselor. And I then decided in 2018, I was going to get my real estate license. So took the 90-hour course. That's what it is in Indiana. I went and took the state and federal licensure exam, got really lucky, passed the first time, or maybe I just studied really well, who knows. And I ended up getting licensed in 2019. I didn't do much with my license though when I got it. I was working as a school counselor in 2019. We had a 2-year-old son and one on the way. But from 2019 to 2022, I did start to dabble in real estate. I helped some friends and family with a couple of transactions. I did my first house flip. And also, all the while, and I think this is actually part of the calculus, which helped me take the plunge, in 2020, for those of you that remember, we entered a global pandemic. And that was also a major factor in my decision to leave school counseling because education was kind of changing right before our eyes. And so I had always wanted to be my own boss. I think deep down, if I'm being honest with myself, I probably wanted to be my own boss since the beginning, but life takes you in certain directions sometimes. And, you kind of make the best out of what's in front of you. And so in June of 2022, kind of fast forwarding a bit, I decided to take a leap of faith and I retired from my W 2 job. I say retired because I don't like to say quit. And I decided to get into real estate full time. First and foremost, I would say I'm an above average listener. I think part of listening is also understanding and knowing when to speak and when not to speak. And so when I was a school counselor, you know, part of my job was to give my students an opportunity to feel heard and really provide empathy at a high level, which would allow them to overcome whatever they were dealing with in that moment. And so in real estate, I see a lot of similarities. I think throughout the home buying process, listening to your clients and really understanding what they're looking for in a home is so important. And sometimes what that means is not projecting my own desires and wants for my clients and really hearing them and let their desires come through the home buying process. I think the biggest part of my approach is making the process simplified for my client. And so, when you're buying a home or when you're selling a home, there's so much involved in terms of like, you know, title company, other realtor, the other side of the transaction, and the timeline that goes with that. And so being able to break it down and simplify it and really help my clients feel comfortable from start to finish and them understanding and learning, feeling like they're actually learning about real estate through working with me is a big part of my approach. I think that's another thing that really sets me apart as a realtor in this market. When I first started out in this field a little over a year ago, I tasked myself with being able to do a listing presentation for my mother. And the idea that I had was if I can't help my mother feel comfortable through, the home selling process and really break it down for her, which by the way, love my mother, but real estate's not her strong suit. But if I can break it down for my mother, then I can break it down for my clients. I'm incredibly blessed and humbled for the success that I've seen this past year. I'm excited to tell people that this past year, I actually ended up doing 19 transactions. So from September 1st to September 1st of this year, 19 transactions and clearing 5.3 million in sales volume, which for a realtor in their first year, it's not too shabby. So I'm proud of that. And as far as I'm concerned, I'm kind of just getting started here. I plan to continue to build relationships with people within my sphere and within my community and really establish myself as the go-to realtor and resource for people in my community as it relates to their real estate needs. And a big part of that is just continuing to talk to people, use a platform like podcasting as a way to also get my name out and help people see that I am approachable and I can help them whether they have an immediate house buying or home selling need or not. I want people to know that they can call me whenever. A lot of realtors know all the different neighborhoods in Bloomington. And when I say I know those neighborhoods, I know them not only because I know them, but because I've run the streets of them. I've had the chance to run all through Bloomington and, really kind of see the kind of different characteristics that come with each neighborhood. And so I think that's really valuable for the clients that I work with when I'm able to comment on the neighborhood and the types of houses in each neighborhood. My wife Liz, she's a psychology professor at IU Columbus, She got her PhD and her postdoc fellowship here at IU Bloomington. So that was originally what got us here, and we stayed for the long haul. And then we have two amazing children, Levi, who just turned 6, who is crushing it in first grade, and our daughter Lena, who is 3.5 going on like 13. She's got so much personality. She's doing gymnastics at Bugs, and yeah, we're really building our lives here. We love Bloomington.